Hi there, Jesse here with eTrailer. Today we'll be taking a look at, and I'll show you how to install the CURT Custom Fit Class 3 hitch on our 2022 Lexus RX 350. The RX 350 is a super practical car, but it's always nice to be able to add some extra storage to the back. Adding a hitch onto it opens up the possibility to add on maybe a cargo carrier, a bike rack, or even do some light-duty towing. Here's a closer look at our hitch installed on our Lexus. As you can see, we have completely hidden cross tubes. So all you'll be seeing is the receiver opening with a nice gloss black finish on it. The receiver opening is your standard 2" by 2" opening. And behind that we have a 5/8" pinhole. Pin and clip not included with the hitch. However, we do have many options available here at eTrailer. Also, any accessory you add on will most likely come with one included. We also have a nice wire type safety cable loop. Super easy to get your safety cables on, whatever style you have, whether it be a large clevis like this or an S like this one. For ground clearance from the ground to the top of the inside of the collar is just under 16 inches. And then from the center of the pinhole to the edge of the bumper is about 4 inches. You'll want to keep that in mind for any folding accessories that you might add on, just to make sure they don't make contact with the vehicle. For the weight capacities of this hitch, we have a gross trailer weight of 3,500 pounds. That's the amount of weight that you can pull behind the vehicle. Maximum tongue weight of 525 pounds. That's the amount of weight pushing down on the hitch. You do have the option to use weight distribution if you're towing with this hitch. That bumps up your gross trailer weight to 4,000 pounds. Your tongue weight will stay the same. Also be sure to double check your Lexus's owner's manual to make sure that your vehicle can handle that weight safely. A question we get a lot is, once the hitch is installed, will my hands-free liftgate assist still function properly? The answer is yes. You just have to kick to one side of the receiver so you don't kick the receiver, but it does work just as it did before. All in all, if you're looking to add a hitch onto the back of your Lexus, you really can't go wrong with this CURT option. As far as the installation, it's super simple. It's just a matter of lifting it up into place, maybe having an extra set of hands to do so, and then threading some bolts on. If it's not something you think you can do yourself, maybe you don't have the time, the space, or the tools to do so, feel free to check out our dealer locator. However, if you are looking to get this installed yourself, then just follow along and I'll show you how we got ours set up. Also, if you've installed this hitch onto your Lexus, maybe you have some tips or tricks, or you just want to share some photos of what you're hauling with your Lexus, then feel free to leave a comment or a review below. We'll start our install by removing this tie-down bracket. That's what they call it in the instructions. It's more of a tow hook. We'll take a 17mm socket, remove these 2 bolts, and we can set that aside. We will not be reinstalling this. Now we have some caulking that's going to get in our way, so we'll just cut a bit of that off. You can see it's pretty thick. It really just depends on your car. I've seen some that you didn't have to cut any off, but ours will definitely have our hitch pushing up against it, so I'll cut a good chunk of that off just with a razor blade or a putty knife if you have one. Just get that out of our way. We can do the same thing on this side and also on this side. These are matching up with the holes that we just removed the bolts on. And these are actually what we're going to use to mount our hitch. So we're just going to pop these rubber caps off. You can just get under it with a flathead screwdriver, pop them off. And we'll also pop this rubber off just so it doesn't interfere with our hitch. Now I'll come through with a wire brush and clean up our weld nuts. Just clean any rust or corrosion you have in there. And once I clean the hole out, I like to run our hardware through just by hand, thread it in and out until the threads are nice and smooth. You can see it's pretty hard to turn there. So I'll just keep working on that and work on this hole too. And while I have the hardware in hand, I'll just show you how it will be installed. We'll have our conical tooth washer on our bolt with the teeth facing the hitch. We're just going to lift it up, line it up with our bolt holes, and get one Get one of our bolts started on both sides. That's going to hold it in place. We'll tighten our hardware down with a 19mm socket. And we can torque our hardware to the specification listed in the instructions. If you don't have your own torque wrench, we do have some available here at eTrailer, or you can most likely rent one from your local auto parts store. If you're like us and you don't have the hybrid model, you may notice a couple of extra nuts and washers in your packet. Those are for hybrid models only, so we don't have to do that step. Also, the instructions say that you should trim the fascia up, which I found with these, it does bend the bottom of the fascia a little bit, but I'd rather have that than actually cutting into it. So really, that's going to be it for our look at and installation of the CURT Custom Fit Hitch on our 2022 Lexus RX 350.